Hello and welcome to
What's the Point?
I'm Katie.
I'm Cheney and Evadine.
I'm Rachel.
All right.
We all work in our kids ministry and have been so blessed by the students that serve. And so we're excited to get on here and chat about that.
I think that one great thing about having students serve in the ministry is that students are so much cooler than I am. And kids love being around kids that are just a little bit older than them. They have somebody to look up to, somebody with the same energy, and somebody who knows just the next couple of stages that they're about to go through. So we love having students serve with elementary kids, for sure.
Some of the ways I have student ministry help out in the 3, 4, and 5-year-old hall is they mostly are my classroom leaders. They do Bible story, they play with the kids, they lead the activities. A couple of them help me with large group and leading all of the kids in the big Bible story. And they're just really great with staying even sometimes better than the adults with like being in the floor and interacting and playing, which is super great for the kids to get to experience. So
I work with our 4th and 5th graders. So I have the kiddos for the last time in kids ministry before they make the trek across the church to student ministry. And I get to watch students come back and just be fun makers. The way they engage with students is different than the way adults do. Adults tend to be a little more cautious. And so when we are at Splash Bash having a slip and slide, or when we are playing a game, they get to interact with them and be a little bit more rambunctious and kind of encourage it, which as a preteen, I'm sure they really enjoy that. So it's been really fun to watch them come back and pour into a ministry that they left not so long ago.
In Element 1, 2, 3, students mostly are classroom helpers. They don't have as much prep responsibility or leadership responsibility, especially right at first. So it's just being there. You know, we've got all kinds of board games when the kids come in, building blocks, Legos, Magnetiles, Connect 4, and just being there and playing with the kid, especially a kid who may not look like they're connecting with the other kids, to have a middle school or high schooler invite them to play Guess Who, so that they're engaged in something, they feel comfortable and they feel noticed. And that's just a really easy thing to do, to play a game with a child. And I've been on staff for a little over 2 years, and I have some students who work in my ministry who were middle schoolers when I started on staff, and now they're high schoolers. And I can think of one in particular. I'm not going to shout her out on here, but I am about to ask her to take on that leadership role because she's done so great, and I think that she's ready for more. But all that to say, it doesn't have to be an overwhelming commitment. If any of you are thinking about working with kids, it can be very low key. Show up, play some games, give some high fives, and then cut out. Or it can be more intense. Prepare a lesson, lead small group activities, lead things in large group. So there's just such a range of things to do, and we can always use student help, for sure.
yeah, it's been really fun watching the group that I have grow just really organically without even meaning to challenge them. They kind of often start coming back there as a friend group and like, well, hey, we kind of think we want to help. And so I'll start them together. I'm also not going to name drop, but I've got some really great ones who started together and just kind of were maybe nervous, especially the guys, because you don't always see guys helping out with little kids, but they kind of challenged themselves very naturally to separate from the girls who were more natural with the kids and started off as the leaders of the classroom. They broke off, and now I have several guy leaders who have done a really great job, not only like being more responsible and being the leaders of the classroom, but they've started to bring other friends back there. And so what started as like one classroom of students who really were dependent on each other, I now have 3 or 4 classrooms because each of them have just grown a lot and taken on that leadership role, and they take it really seriously. And yeah, like I said, also inviting new friends to come back. And I feel like every week I've got 1 or 2 new faces, which is super important for us because we really need that help. But I think it's great for them as well to just have another ministry to plug into and serve the church.
And one thing about kids is the more often they see you, the more excited they're going to be to see you. So if you're looking for a place to just feel like really hyped up on a Sunday morning, kids ministry is the place to be because they get the kids get attached and they recognize you and they're so excited to see you. And that's one of my favorite parts of working with kids is just how excited kids are to see me when I get here.
Also, it is so important that our student ministry help out with us. I know our adults are wonderful, but our student ministry just bring kind of the energy that we need back there. We really need a lot of it. And also they're so reliable. I think at VBS we had maybe a little over 300 volunteers, and the student ministry made up at least 200 of those volunteers. So without our students, we very genuinely would not function back in H4K. My 11 o'clock hour is 100% student volunteers, and sometimes it flows more smoothly than my adult hour at 9:30 just because they have just as much to offer as the adults do. So.
And if anybody is thinking about possibly joining our team, another incentive that can actually help you guys as you're thinking about beta club and college applications, these are hours that you can earn playing around with kids in a building that you're already going to be in anyway. I fill out volunteer hour, service hour forms all the time. I've also done job recommendations, and I know these students have gotten most of these jobs. So it's just a great way to build up your resume as you are trying to put yourself out there in the world. And I know all of your student ministry staff have our contact info. If you want to text us, we can get you plugged in immediately, or click the link below, and we'd love to have your help.
All right, that's all the time we have today. Y'all should tune in next week as our middle school guys talk about our next series.